bowl season is here. Moving on to Wednesday night, the Texas Bowl, my hometown, Houston, Texas. We got the Red Raiders of Texas Tech taking on Ole Miss at NRG Stadium. Seeing Ole Miss, slight 3.5-point favorite in this spot. And as you might expect with two very fast-paced teams, total in the 70s, saw it at 70 leading up to today, and now seeing some 70.5s as well as some 71s on the board. Texas Tech has been a really tough team for me to figure out all year, predominantly because very high variance. What does that mean? Well, you're going to get a wide range of results from this group. I mean, they've had some big wins this year. They beat Texas. They beat Oklahoma. Probably should have beaten TCU as well. But the issue is there's one thing that makes them incredibly hard to predict, and it's they go for it as much as any other team in the country on fourth down. And not just from midfield on 4th and 2. I mean, Joey McGuire will go for it on 4th and 3 from his 38-yard line. We saw that against TCU. It's a big reason why they lost that game. I mean, they basically handed TCU the ball in plus territory in the fourth quarter, and ultimately TCU won the game by double digits after trailing entering the fourth quarter. So it's a very high variance team. What this game comes down to is, can Texas Tech convert on 3rd and 4th down? When they've done that well this year, they've won. And when they haven't, they've lost. And in some cases, they've lost comfortably. As far as their offense goes, pretty solid set of running backs with Taj Brooks, SaRodorick Thompson. I think both those guys have a pretty high floor. I think their passing game is probably in the best place it's been all year with Tyler Shough. They were kind of playing quarterback roulette there for a while. Finally settled with Shough towards the end of the season. He's the most experienced guy. He's played the best this year. With Zach Kittley and with this air raid offense, obviously, they're pass first team. I actually don't mind this matchup for Ole Miss. Defensively, I worry much more about them going up against the run, especially towards the end of the season. We really saw them deteriorate in that category, even in the Egg Bowl, going up against another air raid team in Mississippi State. If you watched, Mike Leach really opted down the stretch of that game to run the football and just wear down this Ole Miss defense on the ground. So I'm interested to see if Kittley would be willing to do the same. I don't love Texas Tech's defense, especially when they're stepping up against better football players. Quinshon Judkins, the freshman back at Ole Miss, had a fantastic true freshman season. They've also got Zach Evans in that room. Quite frankly, I think Ole Miss should be able to get whatever they want in the run game themselves. Really, where this game is going to be decided is who gets better quarterback play. And I know you could say that about any game, but I think this game in particular, because Jackson Dart is still a pretty young guy, kind of himself had a wide range of results this year. He played well against the teams that he was expected to play well against, but, wasn't great in Ole Miss's tougher games per se. Wasn't bad either. I think Ole Miss has much bigger weaknesses than quarterback. One of them might be wide receiver, which is a big part of, generating those explosive plays in the passing game. So I'm not going to have a play on this game. I understand why the total was this high, because both of these teams use a lot of pace. We obviously know that with Lane Kiffin, but Zach Kittley in this Texas Tech offense, they run more plays than any other team in college football. So I understand that, but neither one of these guys is going to scare you throwing the ball deep. Both of these teams probably would have more success keeping the ball on the ground in this game. So I get why this total starts with a 7, but I'm not really looking to play this game over. Couldn't play it under, but not looking to play it over. I probably would lean towards Ole Miss just because with their running game, actually Jackson Dart, their quarterback, is a pretty big part of the running game as well, which wasn't something Lane Kiffin expected when he brought him over from USC. I think that's probably the best unit on the field is that Ole Miss offense. It's just going to be a matter of, is Texas Tech able to sustain some of those drives? Because if they are, they'll have every chance to win this game. But if they don't, they could lose by double digits. So not really a game I'm interested in betting, but obviously going to be a pretty entertaining game to watch.